Water stress is exacerbated by climate change. So population growth and economic growth, these all have tangible effects on not only our markets and regions, but also communities in which we operate. It's the water energy nexus, meaning that we enable energy reduction through smart water management strategies and practices. So effectiveness of water management, resource management in manufacturing can not only lead to water and energy savings, but it also has a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. So let's start with why ESG matters. It matters because investors want sustaining long-term value creation, which means manage and address the paradigm shift that we're seeing around how companies look at externalities. The overview of our ESG view at Ecolab is broad. It's all about a broader movement that provides companies with an extensive framework to do well by doing good. And ESG is all about operating with a purpose, and that's what ESG is about: engaging with broader stakeholders and demonstrating that companies can be a benefit to society. So let's consider things like risk related to climate and financial performance. The two are linked. Or value in terms of business case for climate and water resilience. And of course, how do you do that? By driving inclusive growth. We understand that ESG is of interest to investors because investors are paying close attention to seeing the growth potential in ESG companies. And that is important. Just to put this in perspective, global ESG assets are on track to exceed 53 trillion by 2025. So this is an opportunity for companies to really move the needle on risk, value, and growth, something Ecolab knows something about. So Ecolab provides a roadmap and tools to companies who are looking to enhance what we'll say is business resilience and an improved sustainability performance in their operations. We refer to this as being on a smart water management journey. There are four main steps in the process. First, identify, which is being able to assess and quantify risk through tools like the Ecolab Smart Water Navigator, which, by the way, is a free, publicly available tool that the audience can access through their browser called the Smart Water Navigator, which is a tool that can be a great companion on your journey towards smart water. The second is through targeting. We set meaningful water targets. That's a key point once you've identified risks, and considering which regions and sites are in high risk categories, aligning those goals to local realities, because water is hyper local. We then turn to implementation or taking action. And so this is all about deploying best practices and solutions that enable progress toward our goals in terms of water conservation and net positive water impact, but also being able to mitigate the effects of climate change. And then lastly, we need to track our performance over time. This is important to make sure that we can realize the targets that we've set based on the local conditions. So this process is so powerful because we know when you leverage technology that exists today to deliver on your sustainability and business objectives, really good things happen. And that enables us to really be more resilient to the effects of climate change. For companies to achieve their sustainability targets and business objectives, they need to be able to measure the value and impact of projects that they invest in. At Ecolab, we understand this need and work with companies to quantify and evaluate the value of the process and solutions that we deliver for our customers. Fundamentally to our approach of really understanding that if you do this right, this is the real and lasting change that will accelerate economic and environmental benefits. So we call this metric EROI. It's our exponential return on investment, where we measure the exponential value of improved performance, operational efficiency, and sustainable impact. And we quantify that in terms of monetizing total value delivered across those three dimensions based on the projects that we help our customers implement in their locations around the world. This is really important. for our audience, because YK, to your points about why ESG, and investors really care about value creation, if I could sum it up this way in today's discussion, we obviously have a long road, but we're not progressing. The numbers speak for themselves when it comes to climate and water. The green premium is a myth, and we can deliver business and sustainability and climate results at the same time, which is what EROI is all about. And then thirdly, an organization's water and climate strategies are linked, as we talked about. So smart water management can help reduce energy use, which in turn reduces greenhouse gas emissions and cost savings. The last point I'd like to say is that sustainability has always been core to Ecolab, and we're outpacing our operational targets each year. And now more than ever, we're working with our customers to deliver on their sustainability commitments.